Hey everyone, it's your buddy Crypto Prophet back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about VeChain and VeThor. Obviously, big news in VeChain and VeThor. We talked about one yesterday, how VeThor is getting into those ENFTs. We're going to be talking about that a little bit more today, and we're also going to touch on some of the big information for VeChain altogether. So we see this 122% increase in the last month for VeChain, which is a massive increase. The market cap at 12.8 billion, the volume in the last 24 hours 3 billion. A lot of people doing a lot of things in VeChain. VeThor is somewhat similar, obviously the last month only being a 3.67% increase. So we continue to hope VeThor, does get that increase really pushing now with those ENFTs. I think these enterprise, NFTs will really help VeThor in its future. So jumping in straight away to the big news, it's going to be a couple different little things. So there's actually a lot going on with VeChain right now. So that's very good news for VeChain and VeThor altogether. So what does the domain name VVet.io stand for? It's coming soon, and I want everyone to have a wild guess. So there's obviously a lot of guesses and a lot of guesses. And we see VeChain Dev obviously working with VeChain, and VeChain Foundation obviously retweeted it. So this is a real deal. We see the VVet.io coming. We don't know exactly what it is yet, but this could be a big, big thing for VeChain, VeThor altogether. So we'll continue to keep an eye on VVet.io and see what really comes of it. Going into our next big part of today, we have the AMA. So where Sunny Liu and Peter Zhao, CEO and chief scientist of VeChain, a public blockchain adopted by major enterprises such as DNV, PwC, Walmart in China, and more. Ask us anything about blockchain, VeChain, POA2, in our new enterprise NFT ecosystem, and more. So they're actually doing a full-out AMA on Reddit. If you guys want to take advantage of that, I'm not sure if it might be done by the time this video comes out, to be honest with you, because these videos do take about an hour to really come out. But you see some things like this that are being asked that are going to be answered. So if you have these same questions, you're going to get some good answers here, and we're going to see a lot more transparency behind what VeChain's doing. And we may do an update video going over some of these questions and answers, Q&As. Probably later today, we'll go over some of these Q&As so that we can really cover some of the big questions. So we have U.S. partnerships are something we've not heard much of in comparison to Asia and APAC. Are there any details you can share or industries that are currently adopting VeChain in the North America? So that's a good question. Obviously, we want to see, things really getting adopted everywhere, in North America being one of the major parts of the world. I think that would be obviously big to see VeChain really adapting all over the world. We see when do you expect POA2 to be live on the mainnet? Can you give us an update on VeChain's digital carbon ecosystem? Can you elaborate on the DNV partnership? Also, will the 1 million TX client be this quarter? So you have a bunch of very good questions, and we're not going to go into too much details yet because, like I said, we will do an update video on VeChain going over the Q&A. So if you guys want to get involved with that, definitely check out Reddit. And like I said, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and like the video because we talk about VeChain a lot on this channel. So if you guys want the most recent and up-to-date information, this is the best way to do so. Going into the next spot, we see here are some VeChain partners and customers for those who didn't know yet. We've taken a look at this image quite a bit, actually. But for those of you who don't know, you can take a look at some of these partners. They've got a lot of partners and obviously a ton of different places. So they have agricultures and telecom. They have carbon asset, automobile, tech partners, research, bulk, commodity, transportation, insurance, smart city, FMCG, fashion, financial, documents and copyright authorization, logistics, and like I said, agriculture, fisheries. We do see DHL on logistics. I'm pretty sure that's not, set in stone. I don't know if all these, maybe some of these aren't set in stone because if DHL's on there, we don't know for sure on DHL yet, but it's looking pretty good. I mean, they have a bunch of good companies obviously working together here to really make VeChain what it is. And I think, VeChain and VeThor are going to continue in prices, price increase, I should say, because there's so much potential behind what they're doing, and they've already got such great partners. So jumping into the next thing, we did talk about the future of VeChain Thor, enterprise NFTs, or ENFT ecosystem. So we won't go into too much detail today. If you want to check that video out, I think it was last night we posted that one, so it should be pretty easy to find. We talked about VeThor with its big announcement with being those ENFTs. If you guys got, and if you take anything out of this, obviously I want you to take out that they're trying to start an NFT ecosystem, really an enterprise NFT on the VeThor network, and they continue to think it's a great idea to really get this going. And they talk more really about the idea of, let's say you have a $50,000 handbag and you want to really verify its authenticity. You can do that very easily by just, obviously, if it's a very expensive item, obviously it couldn't be like a $2 thing from Walmart or Dollar General. Nobody's going to really make a authentic Walmart bag. But, for $50,000 items that, celebrities or whatever are carrying, you can verify its authenticity. And it's going to be a great idea behind what VeThor is doing. That's just one little part or section of what VeThor is really trying to accomplish with these ENFTs. There's a lot more to it. And like I said, I could talk about that more in my video of yesterday. If you guys want to take a look at this image, this will give you guys a brief overview of what's really happening here. So obviously, I won't talk too much detail, but Enterprise is going to the NFT marketplace, and then you have the VET stablecoin asset bridge going to DeFi financial service. So there's a lot here to really review, but check out my latest video on that if you want to learn more about the ENFTs in VeChain Thor. It's going to be a massive, massive update for VeChain Thor. We go to the next one. We see HSIR app that uses VeChain now live in Cyprus Hospital. Over 500 people received lab tests and COVID-19 results. So this was April 27th, obviously fairly new. This is a very big deal, as VeChain's really starting to show that they are already really active in all of these markets and all of these areas in the world. There's so many different countries that are already taking advantage of VeChain and VeThor, the blockchain altogether. So we see, I am proud to announce that the new app is live in the Mediterranean Hospital of Cyprus. During the last 2 weeks, more than 500 people have received their lab tests and COVID-19 results on their app. So this is a very, very important to really understand the full, really fully how big this is for VeChain and really VET altogether. So I think this is going to be big for VeChain and VeThor as we continue on to our next one. We see, are you a DApp developer? Come start your NFT DeFi gaming project and contribute to our ENFT ecosystem. The new VeChain grant program starts now. 1 million USD will be allocated for you. Join us for the ENFT revolution on VeChain Thor. So they're announcing that 1 million USD grant program for VeChain ENFT's ecosystem. So it's obvious they have money to spend. They have money to really make VeChain better and better. And I think they are specifically throwing money right back in. And if you ever think of any kind of startup or company, the first thing they do is throw all of their money back in. They take no profits the first couple years, and they put everything they get back right into the company. That's what I can kind of think of for when I think of VeChain and really VeThor. They are trying to make the absolute best ecosystem they can, the absolute best coins they can, the absolute best really solutions they can. So we're continuing to see that work very well as more and more people continue to invest in VeChain and VeThor. We go to the next one. We just see this as a quick, easy look at happy to keep sustainability events going. Thank you, dear VFam. So basically, thank you to the VeChain community for helping us plant over 2,500 trees this Earth Day with the Canopy project. So that's obviously a big deal as we continue to see VeChain really, help help every aspect of the world. Right now, they have solutions in so many different categories. They have ideas really traveling all around the world. So many different countries are being really not taken advantage of. They are taking advantage, I guess so many different countries are taking advantage of the VeChain ecosystem altogether, or the VeThor ecosystem, and we're continuing to see that really, help a lot of people. So jumping back to the prices, let's see if we can get some price predictions for April, May, and 2021 for both VeChain and VeThor. So obviously they are both down in the last 24 hours, about 7.6%. A lot of people are kind of worried about that, but I will say we went down to 1878 on VeChain, and on VeThor we went down to about a 0.0174. So very low dips, but we actually did climb back up. So I think we'll continue to see a climb. Do remember this was probably a decent high for us in the last week alone. So if you can take a look at the last week, our high was right around this, this time span of that 22 cents for VeChain. And if you take a look at VeThor, it was right around that 2.1 cents. So we're going to continue to see increases. I have no doubts about that with VeThor and VeChain. I think these are both long-term investments. They're not going to do short-term gains every single week. There's going to be weeks where they decline, and this was one of them, obviously, that we're seeing that 13.56% decrease in VeThor, and in VeChain, we're seeing about a 21% dip. So we do see, the recovery, though, coming from those crypto market crashes, and because of that, I do think there's a lot of possibilities left with VeChain and VeThor. So let's jump into those price predictions for April. April, I see VeChain. Obviously, we have 2-3 days left. So VeChain's not going to move too much more. My hope is that we stabilize above 20 cents at the very least. And hopefully, price target for us for April should really just be hopefully stabilizing above 22 cents. If we can stabilize above 20, that's fine. If we can stabilize above 22, we're looking good. Same thing with VeThor. If we can stabilize above 2 cents somehow, that'd be amazing. I do think we're going to hopefully stabilize above a 0.019, if that would be a good spot at the very least to stabilize. But 0.022 cents, that would be a great spot for VeThor as well. Going into May, where do we think May is going to be for VeChain and VeThor? So I've looked at these quite a bit for May. There's a lot of different things that could happen. I think some of these partnerships are going to be really impossible to really predict coming out, because VeChain and VeThor, like I said, they throw out different random partnerships, random announcements, big updates randomly coming out to us. Like I said, the ENFTs, the really just so many different, like DHL, Coinbase listings, possibilities. Those are all out there, and because of that, we see big potential price spikes that we may not know about and when they come. But for the most part, VeChain I do think is going to continue to increase. I think about a 35 to 45 cent coin by the end of May would be huge, and I think it's definitely a possibility. It's in the realm of possibilities because we did see that previous all-time high right around 28 cents. I would say I'm going to keep it as realistic as possible. You guys know I like to keep these realistic and conservative price predictions, so I'm going to say right around 35 to 40 cents is my price target for VeChain. Going over to VeThor, if we take a look at the last month, if we could outscale that previous all-time high, maybe making our way to 3 cents, that would be a great price target for us. 3 cents being that price target for VeThor. Going into 2021, where do we predict VeThor and VeChain end up? Well, that's a good question. I think 2021 will be a great year, like I said, for VeThor and VeChain, and because of that, going to the very, very end of 2021, VeThor does have a chance of reaching about 6 to 8 cents. I think 6 to 8 cents is a possibility that I'm going to keep as a price target, because that's a very conservative price prediction. And that's a 3 to 4x possibility on VeThor. And I think, like I said, with these ENFTs coming, it could be much, much more than that. So do keep that in mind when I'm giving these predictions. There is potential for more. VeChain, another coin that I talked about a lot. I've went from pretty much anywhere from $2 to $10 at this point is possible for VeChain, but I'm going to narrow it down and try to give you guys a conservative price prediction today. I'm going to say $2 to $4 at the very least is my price prediction. I think 2 to 4 is reasonable. I think we could easily reach $1 without a problem. $2 is going to be that price target for us. $4 is definitely a possibility, but you have to remember that is a large market cap we'd be getting. I think $2 to $3 is the most realistic at the moment. But I do think we'll easily pass that $1 mark by the end of 2021. Hopefully, you guys will agree with me in the comments. Let me know what you guys think for 2021 for VeChain and VeThor. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree, and let me know what you guys think about these huge updates coming to VeChain and VeThor. Obviously, some big deals. Obviously, the AMA is going to be very helpful, very transparent for the developers to really run that. And then we also have a bunch of new information coming with those ENFTs, as well as just so many other little things coming in and jumping in with VeChain and VeThor. So it's a lot of fun to talk about. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as we do talk about VeChain and VeThor as much as possible on this channel. Thank you guys so much, and we'll probably do that AMA. We'll probably cover that here in a later today about, probably, I don't know, 8 hours from now. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys all in the next one.